What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Terrifier 3, starring Laura Rivera, David Howard Thornton, and Antonella Rose. All easy names. And there's a 3-1. There's a 3-name thing going on, but it's Art the Clown. It's all good. First of all, from Terrifier 1, this movie had sort of a slow burn with its audience. After a while, people were like, "Oh man, this movie is so gory. I don't know how to respond. It's insane. So I want to see more of Art the Clown." So they had a part 2 and then a part 3, and it might go on and on and on. Who knows? Forever. But from that, I want to analyze movies that did not need a sequel, or movies that never had one, and there's a reason why they don't have one. And my first example is Dr. Giggles, 1992. Dr. Giggles. Now, in this case, well, let me break it down for you young folks who don't, know who the hell that even is because you're too young. This is a doctor that went crazy and kills his patients. Not a hard concept at all. Not a hard concept to get at all. It actually sets ground for a lot of sequels. You would think you could get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of a person who uses his doctor's office to put people to sleep with all these tools he's using to just straight up murder you. Murder you, okay? Under anesthesia or whatever. All right? And people have genuine fears of things like this. So why was that not used? Why? This is like clowns. This is almost as bad as clowns. Doctors. Going to the doctor's office. How scary is that? All right? But they never use it to their advantage. So in that case, I think that, yes, you could have went further with this. But they just didn't. I guess it just wasn't right for that time. I don't know. Another one. The Puppet Master franchise. Once again, I have to explain to you young people who the hell that even is or who those people are. Those dolls are. The Puppet Master is a movie about a puppet master that has puppets that kill people. All right, you have the drill head, you have the guy with the knife, you have the guy with the big ass hands and the little head, the peanut head. You have the guy that his face turns around like a Rubik's Cube. Okay, you have the girl that has leeches in her mouth. And they always use her for some very sexual scenes. It's highly sexual, okay, when she kills people. Weird, but it works out like that. Okay, so yes, this whole team is going on. And for part 1, I was very entertained. As a young kid, I was highly entertained about that. I loved watching that because the dolls were just so crazy looking, and it kind of makes you scared of the toys you're playing with for a while. But in my opinion, should 2 and 3 have been made? No, it should not have made part 2 or part 3. There was no reason to do that. The reason I think that is because you had the same lineup in every one, except for one of them had a new addition to it. Later on, a fire guy or whatever the hell. That was it. That's as hard as they tried to change it up. That's as hard as they tried. Really, when you make a sequel for a movie like this, after part 1, that whole lineup just needs to be killed off. Or kill the toys through the movie. And then in part 2, you got a whole new line of toys ready to kill. That's how it should have went. It would have been a more of an iconic lineup, a more of an iconic franchise than just the same crew every time. No one tries to kill these dolls or destroy them or anything. No one has success at this. It didn't make sense to me. I just that's what I felt like. That's the reason that this doesn't make more of a name for itself as a franchise. Just my opinion. Another. It Follows. Yes, this was a fantastic and very creative movie. You have these kids going around having sex, and then this new venereal disease has ghosts and demons follow you all day. All right. And you have to avoid them by having sex with someone else and passing that disease to that other person. How convenient. And it can go on and on and on. And there's also a parody made about It Follows too, and probably why you should not make it. All right. Watch that one. Watch it if you have time. Because I that's what I took from it. That's the reason that they're not going to make a part 2. Because really, if you're going to make a sequel to this, you have to keep going on and on with that same trope of someone must pass the disease down to someone else in order to avoid it. And it's going to end up like Smiles 2, where you did not need the sequel in the first place because it's too redundant. It's redundant. It's overdone at this point. So why make a sequel? That's the point to that. That's the reason I'm saying this. There was no reason to do that. So maybe it's a good thing that they have not made It Follows 2 yet. Just saying. All right. My last entry. Malignant. Hear me out here. Hear me out. And maybe I don't need to explain why. And I can't explain too much because if you have not seen this yet, after all these years it's been out, that ending to that movie is the best thing about the movie. The best, the craziest thing about the movie. All right. And to have a part 2, and you could most definitely, because things are still how they are. I don't care how you saw it end. I don't care what you saw at the end. You know how these things work out. If they want to, they can make things come back to what they were once again. All right. And you have to just kind of, at that point, get rid of everything. And I'm saying things without trying to say too much here, man. I really am trying to say what the minimum of what I can say. All right. And yes. But if you do that, you can't go past part 2. It wouldn't make any sense to keep going past part 2. So now you have a sequel to Malignant that you may or may not have really wanted or needed in the first place. You just wanted to see that get to that point that it got on part 1 at the end and how that ended out. Because that's the best thing about this movie. Just go see the movie. Just watch this movie. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. You know what happens. All right. And now we have Terrifier 3. And my question is, after watching it, was there any reason to make Terrifier 3, or is there any reason to continue from this? We're about to find out. Let's go. Terrifier 3, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know about Terrifier 3 by now, you are currently being chased by a clown that does not talk or speak. So you don't have time to worry about things like that. I understand. But for those who are not getting chased by Art the Clown right now, you know about Terrifier 3, okay? You know about it. Penalization. You're being penalized immediately. I don't care. There you go. right? Terrifier 3, pretty much coming off of part 2, of course. Now the character that's played by Lauren, now she's in some kind of psych ward right now, all right? And her uncle had to come get her out, all right? And now she has to come live with the uncle and the aunt and her favorite niece that we did not know about from part 2. And so they're going to go try to make things work, and her trying to work things out. She's still going through mental things. She's still seeing things. She's still seeing her dead friends. She's still hearing the voices and everything, man. So with that going on, our good old buddy Art is back in the game. It's Christmas time, and he's back to kill some more people. He's waking up people before Christmas, supposedly, I guess, whatever, and just chopping them up. Chopping up bodies, for their Christmas present. They get chopped up. How about that? Merry Christmas. All right. And not only that, this man has a new partner now. It ain't the little girl from the last one. Now it's old girl from part 1, I think, or the beginning of part 2, or something like that. Now she's helping him out, and she can talk. So, there's a new element right there for that. And so he's got a new partner in crime, and he's back on the rise again. And we get back over to Lauren over here, who's still seeing things. And the aunt and uncle, they're trying to figure out if they really want to deal with this for too long. And you got the brother in college who's living a way more normal life than the sister. He's dealing with it the way he can. Until the sister starts calling him back up, asking for moral support and psychological support. And when she brings this up with him, it starts going back through his head what he went through. And he starts going off. And we're going to talk about that later on, but whatever. Okay. And now we get an actual kill in town. And she knows just from that Art the Clown is back. All right. And that's the premise of the movie. Positives. Every kill was unique from the last kill in this movie. There were no kills that were exactly the same. This man has new weapons in here. So he just makes weapons out the whim. He does it in every movie. So in this one, it's no different. Okay, he has a hydrant with like nitroglycerin or some kind. I don't know how that works. I'm not a science major. Okay, but he takes the hydrant and he sprays it on the victim and they freeze up. How cool is that? And with the scene he has for that, what's going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. And it was very entertaining, to say the least. Okay, there's bombs. He has chainsaws. And let's talk about that chainsaw scene. I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to say this. They always talk about how he tries to have a kill that tops the last one. So this one, yeah, he really tops the kill from the last one. All right. Especially if you're a man or just anybody who doesn't want a chainsaw in that area. That area that chainsaw was in, things should come out. Not ever go in that area. All right? Never. That's not meant for an enter. That's an exit. That's an exit alley. And the chainsaw was going in that. And the audience had to sit there and watch it. And it was not pleasant at all. So, yeah, he's doing it again. He's doing it again with his kills. If nothing else, the kills. At least. All right? Another positive. Art the Clown got funnier. Believe it or not, from the expressions he makes in the other ones he's better. He's better this time. I think he got like an expressionist coach or something like that. I think he got a coach to do it this time because his expressions are uncanny. They're uncanny. There's a part in this movie where a fan is talking about, oh man, I just love Art the Clown, blah, blah. And her boyfriend's like, well, damn, we want to have sex with him or what? And she's like, no. Oh, well, first of all, he says, you want to have sex with him? And Art the Clown's like, and she's like, no. And Art the Clown's like, and just Art the Clown doing that. Just the fact that Art the Clown still understands the concept of, groupies and maybe he wants to get a group, Art the Clown, I don't think he thinks in a sexual way, honestly. But the joke, that joke alone, that gesture alone was hilarious, bro. He does a lot of things like that. And he also comes back tenfold on what the groupie was talking about in that scene. He comes back and he kind of addresses everything she said once he meets up with this couple. So that was hilarious. That was funny too. I was like, yo, he really went above and beyond as far as making the audience at least laugh at some of the crazy stuff that he was doing in this movie. Okay, he pumped it up 10 times. All right. Last positive. The brother and sister did a great job of showing people who suffer from PTSD. All right. They both went through this ordeal together. That was their parents that got murdered. All right. So of course they're going to feel, they're still going to have some feelings about this. They're still going to be going through some psychological stuff throughout the movie. It's not just going to go away. That's something that doesn't go away. And a character says that in the movie to his obsessive girlfriend, right? You don't just forget things like that. All right, I don't care how many years it was. So when the girl is acting and she's being addressed about the situation, she starts to get angry out of nowhere, and for a right reason. Because you can't tell someone how to feel about that, about their parents getting killed. And so she just has these outrages, these outlashes, and she's seeing her dead friends and hearing voices and visions, and all kind of things are going on in her head that should not be going on. And she's having a tough time. The brother is handling a little better than her, but once he is reminded of that again, man, that he goes crazy. He tears that whole room up, man. He tears his entire room up trying to deal with that crap. So I do commend those two actors for at least accurately portraying people who've been through trauma like that. So gotta give props where it's due. All right. Negatives. This movie didn't reveal enough about the past. We got a little bit from part 2 about the dad, and the dad was kind of crazy and he saw things and he drew them down, and his daughter know about some of the things he saw, and he gave her the book and blah 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 and stuff like that. And we know about that already. We know. What we're still trying to figure out, what's the connection? What was the connection between him and Art the Clown? Why Art the Clown? What was going on with that? Because at one point, I was sort of thinking that he was Art the Clown. But then I don't think that's the case, obviously. So I have to ask this. People who've seen this movie, I had to go to the bathroom from the scene where the sister meets up with the brother and she starts reminding him of, the things that they've been through and their past, and the thing with their dad and stuff like that, and the demons and whatever. And I had to go to the bathroom real quick, okay? And then so when I came back, the Christmas Santa Mall scene was coming up, or not. It was already showing, and that if you know, you know. If you know, you know. So for people who've seen that movie already, this movie, Did I miss anything important about the past, about their dad and what he, went through? Let me know. Let me know, because I was really looking forward to getting more of an insight into what happened to them as kids. And I didn't get it. I didn't get any of that. It just told the same story over again. We saw a flashback about the dad. Well, we already knew he did that. It just was a visual of it now. So, what? Next negative. When the killer gives you a chance to run, you should probably run. Me saying this, I'm trying to address the fact that throughout this movie, a lot of the victims in this movie, they had so much time to just escape, and they stood there like idiots, screaming, while the other person gets killed. Just looking like, and there's so much room to run, so much room to move around, and you just stood there screaming. This was a ongoing trope that added on to the already these victims take too long to die trope from the last one. And they're still doing that. They're still doing that crap. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm trying to figure out why now they don't want to escape or run away when they have the chance to. It just keeps on adding on. The dumb tropes just keep on adding on. Another negative. The last battle had so many incidents. The final fight was so dumb at the same time. Like, kind of cool, not really cool. I can't say too much about it, right? Let's just say, why would you go through the trouble of torturing someone just to automatically forget that you tortured this person a couple of seconds ago? You just tortured this person a couple of seconds ago, but now you're acting like this person didn't go through any of that. Any of that. It was weird. It was weird. Like, what's the point of doing all that to this said person if you're just going to do this now? So I didn't get any of that. I didn't get it. I don't think it was, I don't know if that was supposed to be part of their situation. Can't say too much. Just gonna say no, that didn't work out. And there, you can go about different ways of defeat of the villain. Let's just put it like that. You're defeating the villain. There are so many ways you could have done that. Okay, that was not one of them. That was so boring and unoriginal of how they handled that. The whole last scene, I didn't dig it, man. I wasn't digging that. I wasn't digging that at all. Throw the whole end out. Throw the entire ending of this movie into the trash can. All right? Last positive or negative, however you want to look at this. It's time for a new protagonist, man. Protagonist. Because Laura is getting a little tired. It's getting a little tired now. Now, there is another character in the movie. The little girl, the niece, Gabby, she's available. She's available. I thought something was going to happen at that end, that final fight, where once something happened, something else is going to happen, and now we have a new contender. I know she's a little girl, but we need a new hero no matter what.
Anyone can be replaced.
Yes, we desperately needed something to happen. Okay? But for that, I'm giving this a I cool. Yes, a I cool. This was just I. All right, a little more. It was decent. It was a little more than I. It was decent. There were so many things that you just need to change around, or maybe not have done with this movie. It just was there for the kills, and that's it. The plot was just so weak. Press that like button, share. You better subscribe.